So hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we will solve another LeetCode question, that is house robber. So let us read the problem statement first. So in this question, you are a professional robber and planning to rob houses along a street. Each house has certain number or certain amount of money stashed. The only constraint stopping you from robbing each of them is that adjacent houses have security systems connected, and it will automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken into on the same night. So we are given an integer array nums that is representing the amount of money each house is carrying, and we need to return the maximum amount of money that we can rob without alerting the police. So this was the problem statement. Let us see this first example and try to understand what the question is saying. So this is the given array nums. Each of the number is representing the amount of money stored in that house. So like house number 0 has one amount of money, house number 1 has 2 amount of money, house number 2 has 3 amount of money, and house number 3 has 1 amount of money. We are taking 0 based indexing. So this is the given array which represents the amount of money stored in each of the house. We need to return the maximum amount of money with the given condition that we can't rob adjacent house. Like if we are robbing this house, then we can't rob this house, we can directly jump onto this house. So this is the given constraint. So we need to return the maximum amount of money. So whenever we think when we need to return something maximum or minimum, we think it greedily. We need to steal a huge amount of money. So what will we do? We will have some greedy approach to it in stealing the money. So let us see the greedy approach, and we will understand that why greedy approach will fail there. Because let us see with this example. So first we are standing at this house. So we have two options. Either we can steal this we can rob this house and directly jump onto this, or we can skip this house and jump onto this house. So if we see the first scenario, what is the maximum amount of money we can get from these two houses? Obviously 2, because 2 is greater than 1. So we will skip this house and we will jump onto this house and we will rob the money. After robbing it, we will have two coins or 2 amount of money in our bag. Since we can't rob adjacent house, now we can't rob this 3. We can directly jump onto this 1, and we will surely rob this house because we want to maximize our amount. So we will rob this house again. So in total we have 1 plus 2, that is 3 amount of money in our bag at the end. So 3 is not the final answer because it is giving the output as 4. So the greedy failed here. So let us see why greedy failed here. Because whenever we are at each and every step, we are comparing it with the number that is we are currently standing at and its adjacent position. So it does not guarantee that if we took the maximum amount of money here, it does not guarantee that if we take the maximum amount now, we will get maximum amount later in future. It does not guarantee that, because see here, we take the maximum amount in the first case, but we are not able to take the maximum amount in the second case. So that's why the greedy fails here, because it is dependent on what we are choosing currently. Our future is dependent on our current scenario. If we have chosen 1, then we can't rob this house, we directly jump onto this house and we will rob this house. Again, we can't rob this house because it's an adjacent. So we rob this house and our array is over. So we rob this house and this house, that is giving us 4 as the amount, and that is our answer. So what we concluded that our greedy fails here, but how will we approach the problem? We can't generalize a particular case that okay, this is following a particular case, or this is following a particular pattern in order to get the maximum amount of money. So whenever we have this kind of situation of maximum, minimum and greedy is failing, and even seeing the constraints are low, we can try out all possible paths and we can use a dynamic programming approach. So we will use a dynamic programming approach and we will try out all possible ways in which at each and every step we are going to check both the scenarios by taking the money and by skipping the money. Again, in the next step we will check both the scenarios by taking the money, by skipping the money, and this will continue and so on and so forth. So it's a kind of recursion, but recursion we can't write because it is too large constraint for a recursion, so we need to write a DP code for that. So we will directly write a DP code for that, because in recursion we can have we will have some like problems that are repeating, so in DP that are called as overlapping sub problems and that are covered with the help of dynamic programming, so it saves us a lot of time. So DP is the solution for this problem, and we'll directly jump onto the code now for writing the DP approach. So let us write the code now. So let us initialize the num size as n, and let us initialize our DP table or DP array, you can say. Now here we have chosen a 1D DP, or it has a one changing parameter. So why we have declared a 1D DP? Because the state of DP depends on the number of changing parameters we have. So what is changing here? Our position of our current position, like which house are we robbing or which house we are currently standing at. So it is only one thing changing, that is the index of all the houses. So we are only one changing parameter, that is our index of the array. So since only one changing parameter, that's why we have declared a 1D DP. If we have two changing parameters, 2D DP. If we have three changing parameters, 3D DP, and so on and so forth. So we have initialized a 1D DP, and now we will write some code, and that code would return us the maximum possible amount of money that we can rob. So we will write this solve function few minutes later, and let us just fill it with the given parameters. So we have given parameters as the size of nums itself and DP. Also we need to give the index we need to give the index we are currently present at, or we need to give the index for traversing the entire array. So we will start from 0th index and we will continue. So we have started from 0 index, that's why we have given 0. So let us write the solve function now. So we are traversing the entire array with the help of I pointer, and we have declared n, we have given nums as a vector and our DP. So whenever we write a DP, we have a base condition. So what is the base condition? There can be two base condition. If we are standing here, we can't rob this house, we will directly jump onto the next house. In this case, the next house is out of bounds. So one base case would be out of bounds, and one key base case would be if we have reached the final position. So two base cases, if we have reached the final position or if we have reached out of bounds. So what if we reached the end position? So we would return the number present there, because we want to rob that house. Now if we reached greater than equal to end, that is out of bounds, so we will return 0 from there, because we can't rob anything, so we won't get money from there, so return 0. So we'll write the DP condition if we have already came across this scenario before, so directly return our answer from our DP table. So now we have two operations. Let us define that as OP1 and OP2. So what is the first operation? Let's say we are robbing this current house, house number 0. So we will get, or we will take money of that house. So we will add that to our answer. as well as we will solve further by calling the recursion. Now what would be the parameters inside it? Since we have robbed this house, we can't rob this house, we need to skip this one, and we will directly jump onto to this house. So what we are doing, if we are currently standing here, we are incrementing our pointer to 2. So we are skipping one position. That means if we are at I, we need to skip I plus 1, we need to go to directly to I plus 2. So we will go to I plus 2, n will remain as it is and rest all will remain also same. Now what is the second option? Second option is that if we are standing at this house, we don't want to rob this house, so we will skip this and we'll check if we can rob, we will jump onto the next house. We will again have two cases, either to rob this house or skip this. So the second scenario is skipping one. So what is skipping one? Since we are skipping this, we won't take the money from that house, we will directly jump onto the next house. And what is the next house? That is just the I plus 1. So after that, whatever maximum we are getting from these two possible cases, we need to take that, because at the end we need to return the maximum amount of money that we can have, with that we can rob. So we'll return maximum of OP1, OP2. And since we are writing in the DP code, we'll store it in our DP table. So this was it about the code. Let us try on the sample test case. So our code works fine for the sample test case. Let us try to submit this. So yeah, our code worked fine. So hope you learned from this video. Thank you.